issue of applicability of Limitation Act proceedings under IBC was initially dealt by NCLT in the case of Speculum Plast Private Limited versus PTC Techno and Neelkanth Township. NCLT, NCLAT held that Limitation Act will not be applicable in the proceedings under IBC. So, due to certain and these kind of judgments, government immediately took the view that Limitation Act, the dues which has lapsed due to Limitation Act, can't be recovered under IBC. So a proper legislation or an amendment to the legislation should be made, and this 238A was introduced in the code. So what is the period of limitation which is applicable to the IBC is under Article 37 of Part 2 of the third division of applications of Limitation Act. What is that? Any other application for which no period of limitation is provided elsewhere in the division. मीन्स जहां पे स्पेसिफाई नहीं किया गया लिमिटेशन एक्ट की डिवीजन में कि क्या टाइम पीरियड लगेगा, तो वहां पे आर्टिकल 137 लगता है ऑफ पार्ट 2 विच प्रोवाइड्स 3-year limitation period, and 3-year limitation period begins when the right to apply accrues, means the date of default. Under IBC, the date of default is the trigger point from where you have the right to put an application against a CD. So as per Limitation Act, 3 years period is there within which time you can initiate a proceeding against a CD. Now there is another section, that is section 5 of Limitation Act, which prescribe the period in certain cases how it can be extended. So what it states, if the applicant satisfy the court that he had a sufficient cause for not preferring the appeal or making the application within such period, then such an application or appeal shall be admitted after the prescribed period. So another gestation given through operation of section 5 of Limitation Act is, if you are stopped by a certain cause or you are able to satisfy the court why you were unable to initiate the action, then that period can be excluded. So that is the explanation which is attached to section 5. The fact that applicant was misled by any order, practice or judgment of High Court in ascertaining or computing the prescribed period may be sufficient cause within the meaning of this section. Means you had the recovery instance in your hand against a CD. In the meanwhile, you read certain judgment in the Punjab and Haryana High Court roster, where it said the period of limitation is for, say, 12 years. It is also possible. 12 years is also possible. I'll come to that later. And you were under wrong impression that your period is now, other than 3 years, it is now 12 years. And you are able to satisfy the court that you were misled by that judgment, then that extension can be granted to you. But it is very difficult clause to prove that you have reasons or you were stopped from making an application or appeal. Yeah. Section 238. What is exact wording of 238 is under the code? The provisions of Limitation Act 1963 shall, as far as may be, apply to the proceedings or appeal before AA or NCLAT or DRT or DRAT. Now, what the Honorable Supreme Court has to say? The Honorable Supreme Court in BK Educational Services Private Limited versus Prag Gupta held, Limitation Act is applicable to the applications filed under Section 7 or Section 9 of the Code from the inception of the code. जब से code आया है. Article 137 of the Limitation Act gets attracted the right to sue. Therefore, accrues when the default occurs. If default has occurred over 3 years prior to the date of filing of application, the application will be barred under Article 137 of the Limitation Act. So, another thing, if an applicant is before some court, suppose applicant moved a application against the CD or a firm or a company or LLP for appropriate relief within time, say of the 3 years, in accordance with the law. So it can't be said that the claim is barred by limitation. Suppose the bank files an application before DRT within 3 year time period of declaring it NPA. Now it want to pursue that case before NCLT. So the period it was with the DRAT will be added to the 3 year period. And if the period comes between those dates of filing of his case and default, then he will be termed as compliant with the Limitation Act. So this was decided in Sanghavi Movers Limited versus Messrs. Tax Sharp Engineer Private Limited by NCLAT. Here, applicant issued statutory notice under section 433 and 434 of the Companies Act, जो पुराना कंपनी एक्ट होता था. Now, in certain cases, 12-year period in case of mortgage of property is allowed. If a financial creditor has the right to get immovable property mortgaged, therefore, may transfer the mortgage asset or a valuable consideration for which 12 years of limitation has been prescribed for filing a suit relating to immovable property under Article 61 of Part 5 of First Division Schedule of Limitation Act. So this was decided in Sagar, Sharma and others versus Phoenix ARC Private Limited by NCLAT. So in this particular case, the bank had taken recourse by Section 13, subsection 4 of SARFAESI. And matter is pending before DRT. So the 12-year limitation prescribed for enforcement of payment of money, which is secured by mortgage, will apply. Now, acknowledgement of debt. Now, there is a very basic thing which we people normally argue in the courts of law, that CD in its balance sheet acknowledge the debt, now which has been decided against the banks. Now, what is acknowledgement of debt? An acknowledgement in writing within expiration of prescribed period will mark a new commencement period of limitation. Now, this is very important. To base a claim and the same will not create a new contract. Vivek Jha versus Dalmir Financial Services India Private Limited and others, NCLAT, said when an acknowledgement in writing within expiration period has been given by the CD, it will start another 3-year time period for that limitation purpose. Now, what is acknowledgement and what is SARFAESI notice and application vis-a-vis Section 7? The period for date of notice of Section 13(2) of SARFAESI Act to date of order passed by the court will be excluded for filing application under Section 7. जिस दिन 13/2 का नोटिस पहले बैंक ने इश्यू किया एंड कोर्ट ने जिस दिन तक ऑर्डर पास किया उतना पीरियड वो कहता है 3 साल में एक्सक्लूड हो जाएगा फॉर टेकिंग एनी एप्लीकेशन अंडर सेक्शन 7 अंडर आईबीसी. Now this is very important. OTS letter or request letter to bank for reschedulement. So if a CD has written the letter for due debt the period of limitation stands shifted to the date on which CD agreed to pay. In this present case, CD by its letter dated 18/3/2016 and 20/3/2019 has specifically stated that it will make an effort to reduce their outstanding dues and raise other funding to save their bank account from getting NPA. So the last three paragraphs of aforesaid letter show that to save the bank account from getting NPA and citing the good reputation and goodwill, the CD agreed to pay the amount and acknowledged the dues. So whenever you go for OTS or you go for request for reschedulement letter to the bank, you automatically accept the debt and you give the bank another 3 periods of lease line of limitation. Yeah, any question, please? So another important effect is effect of decree order. As far as the Limitation Act is concerned, the life of a decree order which is not executed is of the 12 years or up to 20 years it can be executed at the most. But as far as IBC is concerned, where the order of decree is passed by DRT can be taken into consideration to hold that application under Sec 1 of the code is within period of 3 years as prescribed under Article 137 only. Meaning thereby, the decree doesn't give the additional period. It will be deemed only 3 years from the date of default, not from the date of decree. So judgment and decree passed by DRT only suggests that debt becomes due and payable. It doesn't shift forward the date of default as decree has to be executed within a specified period. Now, limitation period starts from the date of default. Supreme Court in the case of Gaurav Hargobind, by the way, ARC, held that proceeding under Section 7 of IBC are an application and not suit. Thus, they would fall within the residuary article of 137 of Limitation Act, and the right to apply will arise from the date of default only. And same thing was reiterated again in the Jignesh Shah versus Union of India. Now, what is acknowledgement of debt? This is very important. If CD writes to creditor requesting him to send his claim for verification and payment, it amounts to an acknowledgement. Now be very clear and do read the red lines also. But if CD merely says, without admitting liability, it would like to examine the claim or the accounts, it may not amount to acknowledgement. So there is a difference between these two. In first, you are saying, kindly send your claim for verification and payment. By saying send your claim for verification and payment, you're acknowledging the debt. By saying without admitting liability, I would like to examine your claim and accounts, it will not amount to acknowledgement. So it depends upon what kind of a letter or what kind of an email a CD has returned to the bank or any of their operational creditor. So friends, this was my first presentation, a small presentation about the Limitation Act, which is applicable to IBC. Now I'll shift to my main presentation. So any question for this? Should I proceed with the other presentation?
Yes, sir. Binji kar doge.
Yes, sir. We proceed with it.
Okay, sir.